Well, it has come true. Frank Lampard is going to be Chelsea's interim manager for the rest of this season. Now, if you are coming from an outside perspective and not a Chelsea fan, this may seem like comic gold, wondering what the heck is going on at Chelsea. But if you are a Chelsea fan, you do understand and realize why this makes sense, why Frank Lampard is coming in to help this club out. Because as we've seen before, Graham Potter had no ties to Chelsea. Yes, he came in to be our manager, but it was just a paycheck each and every week. And we didn't see the passion that we would see with other managers who really thrived at Chelsea. Graham Potter, not so much. Same thing, and no offense to Bruno, he was with Graham Potter, and therefore you're expecting to see kind of similar things from that guy. So therefore, it made sense for us to bring in someone else, such as Frank Lampard, because more likely than not, the manager that we want to have permanently does not want to come to the club until the summer. Now, whether that's Luis Enrique or that's Julian Nagelsmann, either those guys or someone else. Therefore, we had to find someone to take this role on for Chelsea, because leaving Bruno as our manager would have just shot ourselves in the foot for anything that happened this season for the Champions League. Now, again, I'm not going to say that we are going to win the Champions League, but we at least have a better chance with Frank Lampard as our manager. His first year at Chelsea was actually pretty spectacular. I think a lot of people forget how well he did at this club as his manager. Now, we made it to, I think, the knockout stages, around to 16. We made it to the FA Cup final where we lost to Arsenal. Questionable calls on that game. And we also made top four with losing our best player, Eden Hazard, who left to go to Real Madrid. We had a transfer ban going on his first year as our manager. And yet, somehow, we still pulled a top four finish, which, again, no one seems to really talk about that. They just remember the last part of him at Chelsea, which obviously did not work out well for him. But he still did quite well in his first year. And then they remember his Everton stint, which, again, same thing. He saved Everton from relegation, who were a sinking ship last season. This season, again, things would not work out. But his time there in the first season, or a half season, helped Everton stay up. If it's not for Frank Lampard, more likely than not, Everton is down in the next league and therefore not even playing in the Premier League. Yet, same thing, no one wants to talk about that. But let's talk about Frank Lampard and some of his stats as a Chelsea manager. Now, he had 84 games and therefore brought 44 wins, 17 draws, 23 defeats, 163 goals. Take that in for a second. 163 goals out of 84 games. We're looking at roughly 2 goals a game, which that's mind-boggling, because from what we've seen with Graham Potter, we were averaging, I think, 0.5 goals a game, which that is going to be just a breath of fresh air to see a manager come in and help these players score goals again. Now, on top of that, they allowed, 106 goals conceded, which left him at about 48.2% win rate. Now, I'm not saying that is stellar. I'm not saying that at all. But it's better than Graham Potter and what he's done at Chelsea, and therefore it looks a lot better to bring in Frank Lampard and get rid of Graham Potter, because Graham Potter had all the tools for him to bring in all these players he wanted to. Frank Lampard did it his first season. Again, transfer ban, had the players he had that came in from Sarri, that came in from Jose Mourinho, that came in from Antonio Conte, all these players that were not wanted by Frank Lampard. And Frank Lampard won certain players, yet he could not get those because of a transfer ban, and yet still somehow finished in top four. That being said, with him coming back now too, the big thing is that he's helped a lot of these players progress when he was here his first time. Reece James, Mason Mount, just to name a few players. And the players that were against him have now left the club. Rudiger, Marcus Alonso. So therefore, again, this should be a pretty good atmosphere for Frank Lampard, because the fans love him. We all love Frank Lampard. We know exactly what he's done for this club as a player, as even a manager. He bleeds blue for Chelsea, and therefore, again, it makes total sense why he would come in to help this club in the time of need right now. Because if we would have brought in any manager right now, there would have been a target on their back immediately, because when we play Real Madrid, if we lose that leg to them, they're going to blame the manager. They're going to blame everything against him and say this was a bad appointment, and there's going to be so much backlash for that. Now, with Frank Lampard coming in, that is not going to happen, because we know he's an interim manager. He's not going to be here next season. He's only here to help our team finish better than where they're at right now in the league and also maybe make the Champions League final. But again, that is a big order to take. If none of that happens, so be it. Frank Lampard cleans his hands, says thank you very much. I helped as much as I could, and now the new manager can step in during the summer, bring in the players he wants, offload some of the players he does not want, and therefore we can start fresh next season, which again, yes, this season is a total wash, which is frustrating as a fan, but still, this does happen with all teams. I mean, Chelsea have been very fortunate to win so many trophies in the last 20 years. You're obviously going to have a few years where it's going to just dip back and forth, and this is one of those years. But again, we are doing the right steps to rebuild all this because we thought we had the right manager. Things did not work out, so now we're rebuilding again. But like I said, if we can bring in one of those top managers that are available, or if there's going to be another one available during the summer, it makes total sense for us to wait till then, because then they can assess this whole team, who they want to keep, who they want to sell. And again, this just makes more sense for Chelsea because, again, if you bring someone in right now and things don't work out by the end of the season, we may be firing another manager, and therefore that'd be 3 in one season, which would be quite remarkable. Roman Abramovich never even fired 2 managers in the season, so the fact that Todd Boehly's already beat him on that is quite remarkable. But like I said, Frank Lampard is a great signing for us right now because, like I said, he is going to help kind of soothe the ride down to the end of this season. Fans aren't going to boo him. They're going to understand. They're going to be behind Frank. They're going to support him, again, for all the history he's done with the Chelsea. And like I said, there's no pressure for him right now. So again, he can play freely, flowing how he wants to with all these players. And the big thing is that we're going to start seeing goals, which is going to be massive for this club because we've been so desperate for goals that for some reason we just can't seem to click. But Frank Lampard will get the younger players playing better again, and therefore again scoring goals, which again is what all Chelsea fans want to see. So that is all I have for you today in this video. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. It helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself. And comment down below what you think about Frank Lampard. If you are happy for him to sign for Chelsea, or you think we should have went with someone else, I'll get to those comments as soon as I can. And I will see you in our next video.